Hello, one and all, and welcome. My name is Fear. This is Battle Vortex, and Mitzi's down here yelling at me already. I haven't even started the show. So this is going to be crazy. So today, I'm going to be talking to you about Crowfall. We might have some extra special guests, but my co-host today will be Xtreme, and we're going to get into that in just one moment. If I can find the intro. There it is. All right. Xtreme, are you with us? Hello? Xtreme, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. 2 mutes, gets a little tricky.
Eventually you get the button right.
Yeah, I did. Well, when you didn't answer me the first time, I was like, okay, which one's still muted? So, as mentioned in my previous statements, we're going to talk about the main topic today, which will be the executive producer update that Gordon Tyrant Walton released for March 2022. I believe it was Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around there. So we're going to go over that. So. I'm sorry?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Yes, and then we got some other just, normal chitty chat stuff. And, Xtreme's in the chat too. So, yeah, if you have any comments you want to add, we may or may not have a couple other guests that may show up. I don't know. There's been a couple other guests invited, and they know where to find us. So, it's on them, though. Come get us. We don't go get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's sun, then we forcibly go get them.
Oh, my.
Yes, Kitty. Kitty is very much, what I think it is I forgot to give her treats. So
you
now
forgot to spoil your cat.
I did, and now I am reaping the punishment of this.
She's going to eat you in your sleep.
She may do that. No, she wants to go a step further. Come on. Come here. Oh, okay, hold on. There we go. Now I've got a cat. Now we are cat laden. All right. So I guess this week I just want to start off with, okay, she didn't really, really, really want attention. She just wanted to annoy me. So I wanted to clarify my position on the something we talked about last week, which was the I was talking about a clearer path to progression and how the RNG affects it.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say was, and I listened to the show back a little bit, and I felt like I wasn't really being clear what I meant. So I'm gonna just kind of clarify. So what I meant with the RNG, which is a random number generator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that if you choose a path for your avatar, say you want to be a Vindicator, because I happen to know that one. And you want to progress your skills for that class, which is like your majors and minors, you have to randomly find the majors and minors in the world to progress that class. On top of that, you have to also build them, which is for a combatant is extremely difficult on the majors, right? Because you have to actually have some crafting skills and possibly, I can't remember if you actually need... I think you actually need the disciplines too. So you gotta up the ante for the exploration disciplines to be able to build the majors. Obviously, you could have a friend do it, but I'm talking as a solo combatant. This is a little bit too much.
Yeah, I don't remember what you had to do for the majors. Honestly, I don't think you need the minor disciplines for them. But
the minors you just put together 3 minors and then 3 soul essence, which is easy. But it's the majors. They're much harder because you have to have bars, Aurelian bars, and blank rune stones and parchment papers, and when you get into making all that stuff, you even need more stuff. Like you got to have other coal and all this other shit. So you got to have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and it's not that that stuff's hard to get. It's just a lot of extra steps that, unless you're a crafter, you really just don't want to do.
Well, and you may never do it because, like, I don't know how Highlander does his. But you know what I'm saying? There are ways around it, of course. But my thing was, look, the fact that you got to find everything randomly, which means you may never get them, right? I mean,
Hmm.
outside of someone giving them to you, which I just had someone give me some today that I've been looking for months. You're just kind of screwed. I mean, literally, there's no other path to progression there. So that's the part that I want them to simplify, especially on the majors and the minors. When it comes to, you know, thinking about the least common denominator, the little guy, because these guys, a lot of these guys that are playing this game, they'll hand me an item. They'll hand me a purple sword,
Yeah.
and they'll say, "Oh, just go make copies of that." Well, come to find out, I can't make copies of that.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah, the factory copy, that half the time it works for me and half the time it doesn't. And at this point, I'm just like, because I was trying to make a factory copy, I think, of a green tool, and I had an epic
Yeah,
uh, uh, rune maker disc on the green belt, and it still wouldn't let me do it.
yeah.
And in this campaign, I went and tried it and it let me do it. So I don't know what the requirements for that are
I
anymore.
mean, my own guys have even done it. Like, Dino will hand me an advanced tool. And they say, just go make copies. But then I say, well, how the hell do you make copies? And then he goes, well, you got to have this and you got to have that and you got to do this and you got to jump through these hoops and then you got to go light this on fire and then you got to go talk to the maiden out in the middle of the swamp. You know, I was like, what, dude? What do you mean just go make copies? That's not just go and make copies.
No, there is no such thing as just go make
Just go
copies.
make copies. That's what they tell me. Or they say, oh, you just buy it for $3 million. What? How do you even do that? Anyway, so
And it's not like this stuff is, again, difficult to do. It's just extremely time consuming to get everything together.
well, yeah, and if you're not into crafting at all, like I know, I'm pretty against it, but I will make concessions at least for some things. But some of this stuff, like just go make copy, I'll never be able to make a copy of that sort. So I have to go find somebody to do it, and a lot of times that's inconvenience. Like you say, sometimes I just want to go, be by myself, do my own
Yeah,
thing, which is fine.
you get into that one later.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying that's why I think that they're just hurting themselves by making it to where certain things are only able to be done through someone that has a large amount of experience in the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're talking a huge amount of experience. This isn't something that you're going to pick up on day 3 of the game, right? You're not going to be out making copies and, building all your own weapons. And everybody wants to be a crafter when they first start, but by the end they're like, yeah, let's just go to Aerith's.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, hey, yeah,
the
Aerith
hell
has
with
got all
this?
this stuff. Yeah, let's just go see those guys. They know what they're doing, But I mean, even finding out that there's a place called Aerith Traders is not easy. It's not just common knowledge. It doesn't pop up anywhere on the screen and be like, "Hey, did you know there's traders out there that'll sell you stuff?"
Oh,
So yeah, and how do you get to them? Well, then you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to go to the lobby and people are like, the lobby? What's the lobby? It's a nightmare. You know how hard it was for me to even get you guys to come into my EK to get your own stuff, get your castles. I mean, that was an undertaking.
you had to literally buy me the game.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about just
And
getting you to
VIP.
go into the EK to find it was a hassle. And now, albeit some were harder than others, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
everybody's got their threshold, their pain threshold of how much they're willing to learn to do a thing, right?
Yeah.
And mine is pretty high, I think, but there's a lot of guys that's way lower than mine, and so I just want to have the opportunity for those folks to be able to still enjoy the game to a degree, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not expecting them to get to, grandmaster level, which isn't even in the game, but people that played UO know what I'm saying. But I expect that you're able to function at least somewhat normally, and not feel like you have to be a rocket scientist to build the simplest things like character progression. That should be a lot easier, in my opinion. So does that make a little more sense than what I know? I kind of just vomited it out last week, but this is what I was trying to get at.
No, it makes more sense now. There's a lot more in terms of RNG, just having to find the right materials and then putting them together is just a whole nother issue.
Yeah, and it's just it keeps expanding, and that's kind of where I was just, I listened to myself and I was like, well, I was kind of tripping over because there's so much involved that I wasn't like able to consolidate it into sentences. It was just yeah. So anyway, that was my clarification from last week. Did you have anything else you wanted to say on that?
No, I agree with you. It's a pain in the ass.
Okay. Pain in the ass it is. Fix that, Monty. Get on it. Pitter patter.
I mean, there's nothing to really fix, more like simplify or something, or streamline.
He knows what
I'd say. Yeah.
He speaks.
Yeah. Okay. That's
all right. So let's move on then. The next thing on my list is, unless you want to interject one of your things on your list, but I did want to talk about new player experience real quick.
I mean, I'm actually doing a new player experience right now. I made a alt account and trying out.
Let's just merge them.
Yeah, let's just merge. Yeah.
All right. So my comment on the new player experience is that now I've actually gotten a second account, and for science, and I've been trying to play a little bit as a new player, and I found, because of the knowledge I have though currently, there were certain things that I had not noticed before that I notice now that are really good. Like, I love every time you do something new, you get a little pop-up that kind of tries to explain what it is, what you're looking at or whatever. And I kind of like that. Like if I walk up to a carcass on the ground, it'll say, "Hey, you can skin this, you need a knife, you got to do this." And then it's like, "Oh, well, that's nice." That's stuff that I don't remember being in the game when I did the NPE the first 10 times, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that, yes, they are working on that. It's obviously not in the forefront of the player base because most of the players that are playing right now are not newbies. But I'm always looking out for those new guys because I want them to come in, get addicted, and stay in. You know what I mean? I don't want them to bow out after 5 minutes, and going, "What the hell was that? What did we just do here? I don't even know." So anyway, that's it for my MP. What did you have?
No, I was gonna say, because I'm playing through the tutorial right now, and I noticed there's a lot more of those small pop-ups that are explaining things.
That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah, okay. I noticed that. That is, I enjoy that. I like.
Yeah, I love it.
Good
job, team. Monumental.
Not quite exactly what I personally suggested in terms of just making a better quest line, but you know what? I'm not going to complain on this one because they did sit there and put the information in.
Yeah, and they did a lot of work on it, so I'm
happy with that.
All right, fine.
So at this point now, it's on the player to actually pay attention to what's on their screen.
Okay, and that's acceptable to me.
Yeah.
I don't expect people to read everything and absorb everything, but so I don't want to give them books to read, but I also don't expect them to have to go to a third-party website, especially for Crowfall, being that most of the videos and tutorials for Crowfall are outdated. They were mostly made back in beta or alpha or pre-alpha, and they're just not relevant anymore. We need a whole new swath of videos and stuff.
I think the most recent one I could find that's an in-depth guide for new players is from 7.0.
Well, and here's the other thing, Xtreme, what I think is that we need tutorials from players that are actually newer, because all these tutorials you get from the veterans, they take everything for granted. So they say, "Oh, you just go make a copy," right? And you're like,
"What's a copy?
How do you make a copy? What is that? How do you do that?" And they don't explain that whole endeavor. So what I would say is I would like to, if there are newer crowfallers out there that want to do some tutorials and they need some backup or some help, I would be more than happy to offer any input I have and help you, make those videos or whatever. And whatever format you want to do. Please don't make guides. Nobody reads that shit. Okay. Just, little YouTube videos, 3 to 5 minutes per topic is perfect length. Everybody will watch them that plays Crowfall and you'll be a happy camper. Okay. That's my suggestion.
Yeah. If you are going to do a long guide, timestamps.
Yeah.
Put timestamps in the description.
And even that, most people won't watch that either because they just don't want to do it. Only the hardcore will do that.
So you'd be surprised how many actually watch those.
Well, I mean, they do watch the longer videos, but it's actually a lot of the hardcores. It's not the. I don't believe that it's just the brand new player off the street, unless they're just super into Crowfall, right? Like, I got to know everything, then maybe. But yes, I agree with you. Chapters is what he's talking about in YouTube.
Yeah, chapters, timestamps, or smaller bite size, whatever.
Yeah, all of it works. It's up to you you can do both too. I mean, I've done that in the past where I've done long versions and then I cut up. I've actually done it with these founders updates, or I'm sorry, executive producer updates now. So I've actually done that where I cut it up just to make it a little bit more entertaining and more funny, put some pictures in there and shit like that, whatever.
Yeah.
Because my jokes are supreme, but visuals help.
Yeah, I will say this though, with the campaign, there's still some things I'd like them to add in, like at least that I've noticed so far. I may have missed it, because I'm testing something else.
You talking about the new player experience campaign?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I may have missed this, but from what I noticed so far, there still isn't anything that explains to you on how to bring up your spells or special attacks. Nothing tells you to hit that button to bring that up and how to use them. The only thing I've seen so far in combat is there are some wolves outside the gate. Go kill them.
No, at the very, very beginning, if you when you start your new character, the Earth God tells you to, or the Earth Sentinel tells you to, he gives you like 3 different spells on your spell bar that you have to activate. And it explains it there.
Is
at the very beginning. No. This is at the very beginning. Okay, when you first come out, you go to Guillermo. Now, if you already boosted yourself to 25, you're not going to see all this. But if you start at a level 1,
this is a fresh alt account.
You go out, and the first thing you do is you talk to either Guillermo or the tree or the Sentinel, and the Sentinel says that he wants you to practice these skills. And he gives you a list of like 3 of them.
I missed that then.
Okay, yeah. So that is pretty new too. So I just did this like yesterday or day before.
I just started this probably about 2 hours ago, and I do not remember him doing that. I remember him telling me how I to bring up your inventory, T to bring up your tech tree and all that, or skill tree. But he never said anything about pressing K to bring up your spells and look at your spells list. And never said anything about testing.
Okay, now the actual spell book, I don't know that he said anything about the spell book, but he does tell you how to shoot your spells off of the spell bar. So maybe they just need to polish that up a little.
I may have just.
It's like the very first thing, and you might take it for granted because you already know what he means, right? Like if he says hit, on your spell bar number 5, you just hit number 5 and you're done. I mean that's.
Well, he never said anything like that. He never said hit anything on the spell bar. That's what I'm saying. There was nothing.
He calls it by its name, so whatever it is. So like Divine Light, he might say, launch your Divine Light, and then there'll be a little thing there that shows you how to make the Divine Light work. It'll already be in your spell bar.
No, I got that, but all right. I'm just saying the quest never said hit this button on your spell bar to use your skill.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it. I don't know. I don't remember for a fact that it does or does not. I just know that it's the spells on your spell bar, and so it gives you a little icon. It doesn't like literally spell it out for you, but it just shows you the picture of what you're supposed to press.
I may have blitzed through that. Then I'll have to make another character.
Yeah. So anyway, I just did it on a new character yesterday or the day before, but. And this is not that character. This is Darth Fang, by the way. You haven't met Darth Fang yet. She's a lovely, lovely lady. And she will be coming to see Sun soon. Not
I feel
no,
like I've
not
seen her. I feel like I've seen her in an Assassin's Creed game before.
Yeah, I think she's been in a lot of things. I think she was also in the Silence of the Lambs or something. But I may be saying the wrong movie name again. Everybody told me what it was the other day, and then I forgot.
I
Hannibal
don't think
or
it.
Silence of the Lambs. No, I think it was Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. She's got that mask on. That's a serious mask. That's. I'm not here to play around mask. I'm here to kill you mask.
Yeah.
So, all right. So there it is, right? So new player experience. What other topics did you have?
Um, as far as new player experience,
Or any other topics you do?
oh yeah, I mean we got plenty. I mean, so we can go back to what you're saying about uh being able to do things by yourself and not I don't want to say feeling beholden to others, but it's kind of basically the feeling I get. So, for example, when leveling up, you got to create vessels in order to sit there and progress beyond your current level.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to do that, you have to sit there and go farm mother loads, which, for those who don't know, are basically just uh, deposits of either stoner or that require
Really
two
big ones.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the really big ones. I'm not opposed to working with others, all right? But I don't want to be forced to do that either, especially when it comes to progression. I don't want to feel like
Right.
I'm being forced into something in order to progress in the game. That is, I think, a bad design flaw.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't think you should be able to farm the motherloads by yourself straight out the gate with a common discipline either. So I think there should be some middle ground. So, for example, if we or so you get your mining discipline up to at least epic, which is purple, and then maybe have a blue or purple foreman as well, because foreman is what allows you and your partner to break those motherloads a lot easier. So maybe I feel like at some level you should be able to do those by yourself.
Yeah, even if it's a reduced amount of
Yeah,
stuff or whatever. Yes,
yeah. Even if it's
I agree
reduced amount
100%.
or it takes you longer, something. I don't like being forced into group work. I don't mind group work, but I don't like being forced into it.
Yeah, it should be more of a fun thing to do instead of a we have to do this, and
Yeah.
that's when it becomes a job, and then you don't want to do it, right?
Well, that and usually if you convince someone to go motherloading with you, they're also after the same material as you are. So now
Right.
you sit there, you're either gonna end up fighting with the person
You
or you
got
have
to
to come up with
split it.
some way
Everybody,
to
they
split
just
it
split it. Yeah.
and make people happy, which doesn't always work out.
Right. Right. No, everybody's always happy in my guild. I know that, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe it's some other guild, my fantasy guild that I don't have. That's where that's at. So yeah, no, I agree with you 100% on that. I don't know why. I mean, I watched some of the older things where I saw their live streams and stuff, and I see where they're coming from on some of this stuff. But you know what? Uh, this ain't the 1990s and 2000s no more, guys. We gotta let people do what they need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not without being forced to do things. Being forced to do things is really it's kind of a bad thing now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a
If
good
you,
thing anymore.
it also depends on how you do it. Like if you want to sit there and force group play, you have your forts and keep, and I guess in Dregs castle sieges and defenses. Add a dungeon. That'll also sit there and force group play, but in a fun way, make people want to do it.
Well, it's still an option though, right? You don't have to
Yeah.
go there, but you can
Yeah.
choose to go there, and that's when it's fun. When you get to choose, you get to make the choice that this is what I want to do, and this is how, and it's only because I want to, not because there's something in there that I can't get without this group of people.
Yeah.
And and
So I
and
guess
that's that. There's a limit to that. Obviously, there's certain things you know.
I mean that's why I'd
Obviously,
say
super high end things. Maybe that's not the case, but
yeah, but that's why I'd say maybe like throw in a dungeon eventually or something. Because as far as the sieges, um, short of just from a competitive standpoint of just taking it away from your opponents, there really is no benefit to taking them. There's no extra reward.
not really. It actually costs you. It costs you a literal fortune to either repair them or just maintenance and upkeep and all that. And then obviously when you get sieged, if you are broken into and they bust up a bunch of stuff, then you have to go fix all that. If they take it away from you, then they have to pay all the maintenance fees to repair all the damage they did, which sometimes is a better option, because especially with combatants, because they're so lazy, they don't want to go grind for mats. So it really benefits. And in some cases, it just benefits you just to let them have it, and then let them worry about the cost of repair. Let them spend the 25K on the seed and all that crap, and then just come back and destroy it a week later or 3 days later. And then that's fun too. I wouldn't say we've done that personally 10 times, but we might have, we may
have done that.
We may or may not have done that.
Yeah. Speaking of keeps and whatnot, while there's really no benefit to taking them for the crafters, there is a benefit to having at least larger ones and building them up. Because they are just even for combatants, they're a great forward operating base. But I don't care if I have to sit there and build a shrine in there to make this happen or not. But you really, at least exploration discs, you should be able to switch out your exploration discs at the very least while in a large keep.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I was hearing this morning from another guildie that they used to have, an old timer. He was talking about the fact that you used to be able to change discs at will, and then for some reason they had removed that. But I don't know the whole story behind it, but I do believe that I agree with you that you, at least in the keeps, you should be able to build a Kronos statue of sorts. And
I'd rather not even have to build a statue in the first place, but I'm trying to be fair.
Well, another thing I'm not sure about now. No, they must have them. Those heads must be rare for those statues, because I had tried to put together a D. Orion statue in one of the keeps, and I have been all over the place and told everybody a million times, and nobody's got a D. Orion head. Where the hell do you get these things? Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Yes.
All I know is the D is silent.
Yeah, whatever. But that's irrelevant. The relevance is nobody's got one of whatever the hell his name is.
Just Orion.
Whatever. Let's not dwindle on that. Or, forever.
Sorry.
Let's not linger.
Sorry.
On my mispronunciation of D. Orion, okay?
God, now you're just doing it on purpose.
Yep. Excuse me. Anyway, so what else you got? My list is done right up to the executive producer update. So whatever else you got, let's go ahead and roll through it.
Well, staying on the top of exploration discs, I know there's a tiny statue, and I honestly don't care if there is one, but in the EKs, I want to be able to switch out my discs in the EKs as well without having to go hunt down a tiny little statue.
Well, you can buy a tiny little statue and just put it in your castle.
That's not the point.
Oh, whoa, really?
That ain't the point.
Maybe that is the point. Maybe they need to make some money from you. It's only like $20, something.
They're already making money. They're already making money off me. I got VIP.
Wow, that's a step up. I remember you said you would not, until they made the game better, you would not spend money on VIP. So I'm proud of you and Monumental for fixing that situation.
Well, 7.6 was a nice update.
It was, and we will probably hear a little bit about that at the executive producer update. But go ahead. What else you got?
Let's see.
And I agree with you.
I'm going to keep saying, on behalf of Nachos and everyone else, because I agree with them, I'm going to say this on every single podcast. The ability to put soul-bound items in personal chests aside from your bank.
That is important. That is so important.
I will keep saying it, and I'll keep bitching about it until it happens.
I don't understand that whole sitch, why that's not a thing, why you can't put, especially things that you cannot drop, you cannot throw away, you cannot sell, you cannot do. It's literally stuck in your inventory forever. So we either need a way to be able to get rid of that stuff or get it out of our bank or get it off our... We don't want bank characters, okay? I need 12 hot throbbing killers. And I can't do that. And I spent a lot of money to get those slots. So that's, Let's fix that. That should be a thing.
Let's see.
Oh, I did have one more thing. Go ahead.
Oh, go for it. What's your
Okay,
thing?
the one more thing. I just added a thing. Okay, so the one more thing I want to add about campaigns. When you go to a campaign, so you start a new character, you could just come into the game, you start a character, you choose a faction, correct? So you might choose Sun or Moon or Earth. And if you don't choose Moon, you're just an idiot. But you choose a faction, and then you go to, say I wanted to go to join the Shadow. Now, this is not my very first character, so obviously I know you can do this at level 30. I level the character to 30. I'm ready to go. And then, boom, I go in. I selected my faction. I wanted to be a Moon character. And then I go into the Shadow, and it changed me to Sun. Now, I did not know that it changed me to Sun. I rode on my little horsey, my brand new little fresh horse, ran him right over to one of the Moon keeps, and was summarily disseminated by archers. So, and then I thought, well, gee, what happened? And I look, holy smoly, I am a Sun. How can this be? So I came back to I exited the Shadow, so I had to forfeit whatever points I had used to get into the Shadow. And I came back out, and I go, and I'm at the temple, and sure enough, I'm a Moon again. And I thought, wow, this is really awkward. So the reason that this is happening is because there's a mechanic in the game, right? That when you join a campaign, whether it's Shadow or Dregs, if you're not gilded, they want to kind of shuttle you into the least populated faction. On its face, sounds great, but you need to have an option to override that and go to the faction you want to go to. So if you want to shuttle me to Sun, let it make the suggestion, hey, we can make you a Sun. There's, they need help. Or you can just go in as whatever faction you want. That should be an option. It shouldn't just automatically do it. Do you understand? Yeah. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the workaround, I'll just tell you guys the workaround that I found and was verified by support, is you actually literally have to go back to the website and create a guild of one so that you can bypass that, which I think is ludicrous. You shouldn't need to create a guild if you don't want to be in a guild. Even if it's your own guild, you have to exit the game to do this. Yes. Well, you have to tab out at least.
Well, no, you shouldn't have to leave the game at all to sit there and create a guild or anything in game.
Yeah,
why is that a thing?
These are all great questions, Xtreme, and I wish I had an answer for you.
That's my list.
Yeah, that's
my list.
Oh, it's going on his list, you guys. Look what you did. He was praising you 5 minutes ago, but now you're on his list again. Oh. The party never stops, does it? So, yeah, so that's a problem. Okay, so I think that it's great. That's a great mechanic if it's a first time player, but also it doesn't really other than the flags were all different, which I totally just ignore anyway because I'm a Moon player and I'm standing here in the frickin' Earth Temple in Skypoint or God's Reach. That seems totally but to a new player, that's they're not going to know what the hell that green flag is over there with the stupid tree on it. What is that? Nobody knows, right? So let's try and maybe smooth that out a little bit. I think we can do a minimal amount of work here and come up with a solution, especially for alt characters that makes a lot of sense. For new characters, it may not make as much of a difference, but if you want to make a character, not guild it, just go into a campaign, you should be allowed to choose the faction, or it should not change your faction unless you tell it to. So, if I want to go in as an Earth, it should have just let me go in as an Earth. It should have given me the option or said, hey, By the way, these guys could use some help. Would you like to be a sun or an earth or whatever,
Or an Earth,
or an
because
earth or a moon?
Moon does not need the help right
Moon
now.
does not need your help. We do not. They do not need it.
Moon is
So
eclipsing everything.
yeah, Moon is pretty nasty. So yeah, so there's that. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. I just think it's just something we can smooth out. We got a new developers. We got new programmers coming on every day. That's a real nice project that they can work on. Okay, that's all I'm saying. How about you, Extreme? Anything else on that?
On that, just why do I need to exit the game to make or join a guild?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
all part
yeah,
of it's all part of the same
yeah,
collective. Yeah.
yeah. That should be done in game. There should be no reason to exit the game for that.
Yeah, all guild functions really should be on a GUI, and they know it. They already know.
Yeah.
This isn't like we're giving them like a, oh, really? A GUI? What is that?
The only time I should ever have to exit the game for game related stuff is to maybe send in a support ticket or go look up a third party
Well, on
guide.
most games nowadays, you just click on a link and it'll just bring the browser up for you if you really need to go outside of the game.
Yeah, but
I
it's
mean,
still
but
technically an external browser. They just made it inside the game, but
yeah,
you're
that's
still
fine. I
yeah.
mean, but that to me, that's not as intrusive. We literally don't have a way out except alt tab or, do it on
Yeah,
a different computer
and
or
even then, that
whatever.
wouldn't be as big of a pain in the ass if closing the client didn't also close the launcher.
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah, that is the thing. Every time you close the game, it also automatically closes the launcher.
So,
This is the only game I know of that does that.
ah,
That I know of. Doesn't mean there aren't other games out there, but if I close the game, maybe I want to leave the launcher up for quick access again, so I don't have to type in my username, my password, and two-factor authentication.
oh, and that brings me to another thing. If you get a new phone or whatever and you lose your two-factor authentication, they don't even have a really good way to reset. You can't reset that yourself. You have to go through support, which annoys me to no end. You literally have to have them shut your 2FA off and then you have to re-enable it, which I think can be exploited. I don't like it. You know what I mean? There's
Well,
no backup codes. There's no nothing, So I think they need to
that
work on that anyway.
I think is more on the player side because I know the app I used is called Authy. So if I do, get a new phone or something and I need to re-download the app on another phone, they do have a way for you to retrieve that by either a backup number or a backup pin or something. So that's more player side, honestly. And it
Well,
also
yeah,
depends on which application they're using for it.
but most sites, any site, go to Zoom or whoever, they all allow you to get around that. So to get around the TFA if you need to, or the MFA or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
that you can do it through codes, you can do it through different forms of authentication. Two-factor authentication is not the only way that you can. I mean, there are some where you can have things be text to your phone. Now, if you get a new
Yeah.
phone and it's the same phone number, it'll text it to the new phone, no problem. But there's just no options there, and I think they should have more options there.
Yeah. See, mine doesn't even text. Mine's just a literal phone app that is just linked to the account directly.
Yeah, yeah, you have to kind of do that with Crowfall, but a lot of places nowadays, I just think they need to modernize it and be a little bit more like the Joneses. Just get let's maybe update this few years. They're just a couple years behind. That's all. It's not a huge deal, but it's just something that annoyed me right away because I had that problem, and then I had to contact support, and then I thought, well, I don't know. I feel like that can be exploited in some way. Not that I would do such things, but Kitty's really pissed. So, do you got any more topics?
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Go ahead.
Let's
I'm gonna
see. We do
go
the personal
get food
stress
for
one
the kitty
first.
while you start your topic. Okay, so I'll be right back.
Okay. So this one isn't more of a grab. This is more something that needs to be fixed. I noticed on on Tainted Hills, the thralls that sit at the top of the hill and are up against the rocks. If you kill them, your soul essence will actually go into the rocks and you can't retrieve them. So that's less of something. Well, that's more of just something that a bug that needs to be fixed. Or just either move the thralls further away from the rocks or something, or make it so that the soul essence or the loot doesn't drop into the world so I can't get it. That's just more of something to bring to the devs' attention, really. This one's more of a jab at fear. because his EK is a total maze, or it used to be. But I was gonna say billboards or post signs or something for the EK. You know, directional signs.
I'll comment on that in a minute. I got a microphone. Well, you can hear me right now, but they can't.
All right.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay. So I can hear what he's saying right now. He's like, just hold on a second. I'll be there just one. Hold on.
okay, I just had to get the kitty's food, man. She was not having it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, they did mention that. I know that Gordon in a previous executive producer update. I got to get the right name now because he's not calling himself founder anymore. He's calling himself executive producer. Um, so yes, he did mention that he was very interested in getting some sort of signage on the EKs, and yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I have gone through great pains to try and make my EK very simple to navigate now.
You have,
With
but
the
that's
help
just
of many people's input. And right now, I think it's in a pretty solid place. Actually, I've seen a lot of other EKs now kind of have the same wording that I have on mine, so I know it's working.
yeah. That's the first. Every time I go to an EK, it's the first thing I do is I go to the map and it's like, do they have it labeled?
Yeah, I label it exactly what you're going after. Yes, so there's
Yeah.
that. I'm
Uh,
really curious as to who's standing back there. Cobra. Who's Cobra?
I don't know.
Cobra. It's
Oh,
funny.
I didn't know. Okay.
So the funny thing is, like, we play in the shadow, but we don't really like talk to a lot of other guilds and stuff. So we don't ever remember like what their names are or anything. You know what I mean? So it's like we just go by whatever the flag looks like. It's like, oh, I recognize that one. You know, some of them we know where we've interacted with them a million times, but some of them we just have. You just see the flag and then you're like, oh yeah, I think I know that one. And then
Yeah.
you see another guy with the same. Oh, he's with that guy. Okay, all right. Yeah. So it's just kind of funny to me. Sorry, that was just a side note. Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So yes, I agree with what you say about signage. There should be signage. I think one of the challenges they're going to have with signage is that, you know, people are going to try their best to draw dicks on the signs. So that's going to be a thing. But anyway, you know, outside of that,
It's someone's personal EK, so let them do with it what they will. Honestly, what's stopping people from making dicks out of the buildings?
oh, that's a good idea. We're going to work on that later.
See,
That's the new guild project. Good job.
I am
Xtreme.
chocked full. This is why no one listens to me on the forums unless it's extending a really stupid event.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that.
We don't talk. We don't say that.
Did you hear what I mentioned about the thralls?
Yes, you were talking about. So basically, what I do, and I know I agree with you that they need to fix that, but I usually just make sure I pull that thrall away from that rock.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand that, but at the same time,
No, it shouldn't do it. You're right, but I also, you know, just for those as a workaround for now. Yes,
Yeah.
Monty, please fix that. But at the same time, yes, please always remember to pull that stupid thrall. They get stuck in the weirdest places sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
like and the thralls, especially the Tainted Hills thralls, they have a very short reset time. Like if they get stuck, they reset within like maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And then they reset back to 0, which isn't usually a bad thing because they're not real strong. Now, if this was like the time we reset the raid boss, that was pretty tragic.
That was
But
infuriating.
yeah, that was the worst death of my life.
Yeah, I mean,
And then the retry was even worse.
there was no retry. That was just a
That was just
That
a
was just us being
sacrificial.
stupid.
We were just sacrificing ourselves the second time. But
yeah, that was just us being stupid.
yeah, that was fun.
Um,
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Three
let's
Stooges.
see. So this is something I ran into earlier when I was trying out my Myrmidon in Skypoint. I walked by an Earth fort as a moon, and I accidentally aggroed one of the guards. I wasn't going into the fort. I wasn't even attempting to do that. I just got too close by accident. And
Okay,
it
Dino.
was
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No,
'Cause I'm sorry.
well,
I'm sorry.
no, because there was an Iroquois settlement right next to it,
Sorry.
so that's
Sorry.
what I was
It's
doing.
okay. Fine.
Yeah, sure. Fuck
Uh-huh.
you too. No, so I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just sit there and kill the guard. It'll respawn later, and I'll be done with it. No, guard's kicking my ass, but it's invulnerable the whole time because it's out of siege timer.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, that happened to Highlander when we went and we destroyed a keep and we didn't take it, but we were still engaged with guards once the time was up,
Hmm.
and yeah, Highlander
So
got
I,
attacked horribly.
so if it's not in a siege timer, and if you don't own it, we're already not allowed to sit there and interact with the vendors or the bank in the fort or the keep, anyways.
I think that one's going to be
So there
tricky.
should
Go ahead.
so there should be no reason for the guards to even attack us. So if we swing at a guard, it shouldn't do anything. It should just be invulnerable, but they really shouldn't be attacking us either outside of a siege window. It should just be like a complete wash, like nothing happens.
Well, yeah, because they can't come in anyway, right? Maybe that's just something they need to fix up
Well,
because, yeah, nobody can come in, right? There's no.
well, I mean,
Well, I
unless
mean, they
it's
can't
if it's a
hurt us,
neutral.
and we
So
can't
this
hurt
fort,
them.
so
So,
well, this fort didn't have its walls up, so but that was the issue there.
oh,
No, but my point is, if it's a neutral fort or keep, you can still go in and out, but you can't interact with anything
well,
in there.
yeah,
So
I
the
think the
guard shouldn't be
problem comes.
attacked.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I think the problem was is maybe Highlander attacked that guard after the
Well, even if
timer
he
went
did,
off. But yeah, you're right. It shouldn't do that. I think you're right. I just don't know. I don't. I have no idea how they're going to overcome that one, but I think
I say,
that it's a good idea,
and I'm saying
especially now with the new rules.
even if he did attack it after the fact, the guard should just sit there and go now,
Yeah.
and not even do anything because you're not going to damage the guard because it's out of siege timer, so they're invulnerable. So I mean, I don't think you should be able to take damage from guards inside a from their fort or keep, whether it be neutral or player owned, outside of a siege window, because then you're going to get incidents like what happened to me where I'm trying to farm a mob that just happens to be next to it, and I accidentally aggro the guards, and they're going to sit there and absolutely wipe the floor with me while I can't do anything to them.
Yeah, that's yeah, they should not be.
Yeah, either give me the ability to defend myself, or turn that off until siege window time.
Fair enough.
That, so that's just my opinion. I'm
Yeah. That's
yeah
all we're doing here. All right,
yeah.
so go ahead next topic.
Let's see. While in the temple, all right. While I'm at a crafting station, I'd like remote access to the bank.
Oh boy. Now
And
you're
here's why. And this mainly for the crafters, because you sit there and you're making a component like, okay, well, now I got this component, but in order to continue making this object, I'm going to need to make another component. This component needs something completely different. So you spend more time running back and forth, grabbing stuff, than you do actually crafting. I'm not.
that's just poor planning on the player's part, I think.
I'm not saying this should be done out in the world, like at keeps and forts and whatnot. I'm just saying inside your temple.
I'm just kidding. I do it all the time, and it's annoying as hell.
Yeah, it's like just inside your temple. We
Yeah.
have that ability in our EKs, and it's nice. I think you should have that ability inside your temple. Nowhere else except the EK in the temple, because I mean, if you're
Well, yeah, I think they also. Yeah, I don't know how hung up the devs are on the whole making you come down to this. I mean, basically, if they do that, there's no point in even having this room. But
well, there's
um,
I'd say there still is, because I mean, you come in, you go put your stuff away. I would still use it,
well, no, you
but
could
it's
just do it
mostly
right over at the gates. You could just put your stuff away right there. You don't even have that. I mean, it's actually really convenient to do that. But I guess if there's a rule like you have to have, like you have to, I don't know. I don't know how they'd quantify that, where you have to have, some sort of exploration disc on or something. I don't know.
no. I mean, just remote
Uh,
access in the temple.
yeah, so it would
I
basically
mean,
negate the bank. So I'm not sure if they'll buy that
no,
one
because
or not.
you'd still need access to the bank, so you still keep it here because it's already part of the quest line. So I mean, you'd still keep it. I don't
Well,
see the
yeah,
issue.
I mean, it is. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't. I agree with you, but I just don't know. I'm just not sure about that one.
Or make it you'll have remote access only when you're inside a crafting table. Then, if you want to sit there and, for lack of a better term,
Or the
nerf that
crafting
ability.
tables could pull resources from your bank.
There you go. I like that one.
Yeah,
Have
that's
a
better.
pull. Which game had that? Was
There is a game that does it. Isn't it Black? Is it Black
no,
Desert?
no, no. It was not Black Desert. For once, it's
Uh,
not that one.
what? No, there.
Oh,
We so
what
many
was
games,
it?
so little time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah,
we've played
man.
it. Uh, I don't remember.
There is a
Oh, I
game
know
though
it.
that pulls it directly from your bank, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, I know which one it. Well, I don't even know if you play it, but Ark Survival Evolved has something called the Structures Plus mod on it, and it gives you that ability to pull what you need from any of your storages as long as they're within a certain range.
Yeah, no, no. This game I'm thinking of is just if you try to build something, it automatically looks in your bank for it. If
Yeah.
it's not on your person, it just gets it out of your bank as long as you're near that bank or whatever, So
Yeah, that would take a little extra work to do because of the different combinations and quality of materials to implement
well,
that.
yeah, no, you're right, but I mean, it would still
So
maybe it just pops the bank open and then you get to choose what you want to pull out. But you know
yeah,
what I
that's just it.
mean?
Remote access.
Yeah, so
That or just
that I think they might go for something similar to that.
so okay, remote access to crafting resources then.
Yeah, it's material,
There you
sure.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you want to sit there and keep it like your idea with a remote pull or auto pull, sit there and have it pop up, a list of so
Materials
yeah, that's just overcomplicated at that
that are
point.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
You may
No.
as well just sit there and have remote access to your bank for crafting purposes.
Yeah. I like
Yep.
that idea. I think they can work that out. They don't
Yeah.
usually come up they don't usually fix exactly what we say, but at least we try to lead them to where the solution really lies if they agree with us that it's a problem and they want to spend the time and the money to fix it. But
I
hey,
look at it
look,
this way.
I'll give you guys $10. Just fix the damn thing. All right, come on. No, I think it makes sense though. It's not a crazy request. So yes, let's do that.
Yep. I mean, I can lead a horse to water, and then I can drown it while forcing it to drink.
Well, they're willing to listen, as we're going to talk about soon. They are willing to listen to us, so it's really great when people give feedback and all that. So don't
Yeah.
feel like even if your feedback is whether we poo poo it or the community poo poos it, don't worry about that. Just do it anyway
Yeah.
because a lot of times your feedback might mesh with somebody else's feedback, even though they don't realize it. The devs see things through a completely different lens than we do. So always get out there, always make sure you're saying, hey, look, I think it should be this way, that way. And, they're either going to do it or they're not, right? So don't worry about whether or not it actually goes in. You may offer 1,000 suggestions and you may only get one of them. Yeah, you may get none of them, but at least you made the offer, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how we've always looked at it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
And we're
I feel
not
like I'm
always
doing
the
pretty good.
nicest about it either, but we do try to be somewhat cordial at most
Yeah.
times.
Try to be tactful.
Yeah, a little bit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we do try to do civil discourse as much as possible.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain things we just get really mad about, but yeah. Not me, though. I'm always calm and collected, always. Yeah, that was a lie. Anyway, so what else you got? You got more?
Um. Um. Well, I mean, we could always talk about a world market as opposed to what they have now.
As you wish. Talk away.
Alrighty then. The EK idea with the vendors and whatnot is an interesting idea. I'm not a personal fan of it. The fact that the devs labeled this game as a player-driven economy, I don't really see that, to be perfectly honest. In order
Why?
for it to be a play,
Okay.
because first you have to sit there and tell new players that, hey, the marketplace is not in the common area. It's actually in about half a dozen different little mini worlds that you'd have
And
to go
that you have to
find.
go find. Yeah, there's no
Yes.
directory, no nothing.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you where it is or how to get there or
Mm-mm.
even what to look
Mm-mm.
for, but it's
Mm-mm.
there. It's
Nope,
there.
none of that. No hand holding here. Just go get good, figure it out.
And I mean, and as you said, this apparently this idea that they were running on used to work in Ultima Online,
It
which
did.
I'm sure was a great game,
There
but
was no lobby.
that was then. This is now,
There was no lobby.
and
It
what
was all
worked
one
then
world.
doesn't necessarily work now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You got a different generation with a different mindset. Most of it just lazy, to be perfectly honest. I'm one of them. I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I am lazy as shit. Um, but that doesn't change the fact though that a central marketplace I believe would be better for the game and more, well, not just new player friendly, but just more player friendly in general, especially if you want a player driven one. Yeah. So
So much to do. Yes, I agree. I agree with what you're saying there. Yeah, I think you can still have. I mean, you could have both, right? Like you want people to be able to go visit other people's housing, right? I mean, that's a big
yeah.
thing. Like we do that in Warframe. You know, you invite your friend over, and then you show them around, do whatever you got to do, and it's all fine and good. But
If you want to show off player housing, get cosmetics and decorations in the game. That's what they're for.
yeah,
All right. Or you can do what other people are doing and sit there and host weekly PvP fights with an arena.
yeah, you could do. A lot of people used to do that. It's just with the pop where it is, it's kind of rough right now. But yeah, I get
Well,
it.
that and also if your character that you would want to practice with is in Shadow or Dregs, you can't use them because you can't take them out without unlocking them.
Yeah,
So
right. And
the
you lose your
so
points and all that crap. So yeah.
yeah, so that actually brings me to another point: the ability to switch from Shadow or Dregs without having to unlock your character to go into an EK.
Yeah, and I don't know all the ins and outs about that one, so I'm not
Okay.
sure why they thought that was a great idea. I mean, I understand some things about it. Like, you definitely don't want everybody just bringing all their money, all their resources, and everything into a campaign. A campaign's supposed to be like a contest, right?
Yeah.
So if you just let everybody go hog wild, then you might as well just make that the world. That's why we
Well,
were talking about taking the training wheels off of Dregs last week.
well, what you can do with that is your character and gear is still part of the campaign. The campaign will still recognize that you've already used import point tokens for it. Anything new that you try to bring in, you'll still have to use your import points on. So you're still limited in that respect.
Okay,
So you can always try that.
maybe.
Because
I don't know. That, yeah, I'm not real clear on why they did what they did there. So I was
but
kind of on hiatus when they did all this crazy stuff that they're doing now. Which it looks like, and we will talk about that more shortly, but it looks like they're going to continue with some crazy stuff, and we'll talk about that, though.
oh yeah, like I said, I'm not really a Dregs player, but I'm interested to see what they're going to be doing with that.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting. Well, we're at that point where we could be if we wanted to be, but there's still way too many bad things there that I'm not willing to deal with. And
I would say our crafting is not where it needs to be to sit there and maintain our gear at an appropriate level to even be remotely competitive in any shape, form, or fashion, even if it's just sitting there and taking outposts behind them as they cap it.
that's not the strategy I would use, but in any event, yes, I think we could go there and we could do things, and we have gone there and we have done things, but to actually be like having a fort or a keep or anything like that, that's completely out of the question.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, that's just never gonna happen. Not at the current state of things.
No,
But
Mr. Most Matt, he sent me a video of one of the siege defenses he was part of,
yeah,
and the sheer amount of players that
yeah,
participated actually lagged the server out.
yeah, right. Yeah, we don't need that kind of attention. We don't mind. Yeah, we don't mind attention, mind you, but that's a little too much for us, right? So, Yeah, we're not gonna be able to be very effective there. Shadow is more built for our kind of guild, right? So
Yeah.
we're actually able to hold on to property there. We're actually able to defend ourselves to a degree, and we're able to, to assault other buildings. And so right now it's very convenient for us. So we're at the point where we're pretty good there, right? We're pretty good in the shadow, but we're not really ready for Dregs at all. Regardless of whatever crafting materials we don't have access to, that's irrelevant because
Yeah.
unless we can defend ourselves, there's no point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no point chasing after this shiny objects that you're just going to lose because they're going to smash your face into the ground the second you pick it up.
With that
So, yeah.
said, it will be interesting to see because the next drag supposedly um you're going in naked. Now, I don't
Yeah.
know if that means you're still bringing gear with you and you just have
No.
to equip it afterwards, or you're just going
I
flat
think you're
out
just
no
going
gear.
full on naked. They used to do that a long time ago. I remember doing that a few times.
So, that's interesting because that would even give the smaller guilds like us a chance, in my opinion.
Right. That might. Yeah. I mean, I think what we'll do is when we get to that part of the topics, then I'll go on a little bit more about it. But yeah, I think it will be interesting to see what happens with that. If they don't make a Dregs like world or a Shadow like world, and they just want to continue with these campaigns, I still think they need to make a world though. Like there's still really no home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to continue going that direction as well. But like I said, they are doing a lot better with the NPE, and it doesn't feel as pressured to go, but it's still like once you get to that level where you're like, okay, I'm kind of done here, then there's still a lot of confusion surrounding like, okay, where do I go? Do I want to go to this place or that place? Do I want to try to go to the end game, or do I go to this other place first? What do I do? I think there's still a lot of
Mhm.
confusion there, and you still see people that come in, go to the shadow, get killed, and then you never see them again. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Uh,
that.
yeah. So there's
So
a lot of people on the scoreboard who have like one kill or one
one
death to
death,
them,
yeah, they get one death, and that's it. It's like wow,
and you don't see anything
they
else.
didn't even make a band-aid. It's like wow, that's that's pretty tough. You know what I mean? That's a
Yeah.
little rough on people. Yeah, because I remember my first forays into the dregs and all that, and then I was basically terrified the whole time, because I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. And
Oh,
yeah, the first time I saw somebody, pop, 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 I was like, what the, I'm still wearing my pajamas, I was
yeah.
having a cup of coffee.
I went to Dregs and I spent the entire time in stealth except for one of those gathering stuff. And I died so much. And I said the nail in the coffin for me was when someone camped the gate.
Yeah,
So I come
yeah,
out the gate and I just instantly die. I'm like, you know what the hell with this noise?
which never happens, by the way. That was just a faux pas, dude.
Mm,
But that's what I heard anyway. So
uh,
but in any event, I'm just messing with you, but messing with you and Nani at the same time. So anyway, yeah. So I agree with that too. I think yeah, they need to work on a lot of these things, and obviously they are. Okay, I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression. We know they're working on this stuff because we play every single day. Pretty much every guild member I have plays every single day, and even though it's a small guild, those people every single day. So I get feedback every day from that, and we have a few allies that we team up with outside the guild every single day. So have no fear, guys. We're watching. We're watching them. They are working though.
yeah.
Okay, what else you got? You got any more topics?
Yeah, last resort and the Guinea needs to be nerfed.
Hey, 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 hey! You
No,
just stop with that right now.
no, 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 no.
No, no.
No, that
You cannot
that
nerf
skill need
crafting guineas. They're just never gonna. You're
no,
gonna
that
have an
skill needs to be
uproar.
revisited. No, the ability to sit there and pop out of stealth, and I said this last time, I'll say it again, fire off 8 rounds from two single shooters and then go back into stealth and continue doing that repeatedly from a pretty good range. I think it was like about 20 meters or so.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Oh,
No. No.
That is beautiful. Come on.
No.
You're gonna have like angry rats all over you.
Fine.
I'm just
Let
kidding.
the rats get
No, I
angry.
agree. I don't. There's a
The
lot of
Guinea?
things the guineas do that they shouldn't be allowed to do. I still have a problem with crafters being able to actually literally destroy high end combatants. That's annoying to me.
Yeah, I'm not saying nerf the Guinea as a whole. I'm just saying that one skill. Because most of the time when I sit there and anytime I die to a ranged person, it's always to a Guinea using last resort, and you know who you are.
By the way, they call
bastard.
that a tap in game. I found out this morning because I did a tap similar to what you're talking about. I did one of those to somebody, and they said, "Hey, nice tap." I said, "Yeah, that's right."
Yeah, but it's
I didn't
dumb,
even
and
know I did that, but I did that.
I don't know, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, just damage it before it goes back into the ground." I'm like, damage it. The damn thing's 20 meters away,
Well, half the
and
time you
fire,
don't
and it's
even see it
yeah, and they're
because
going to be firing from behind you to the side
yes,
or
and
someplace
by
where
the
you
time
don't
you
have
even
line of
figure
sight.
out where it is, like you don't know where that shot came from.
Yeah, so then you got to figure out where they're coming from. Hopefully, you have a skill that can get you over there quickly, or maybe you're lucky and you have a net.
Yeah.
And if you can pull any one of those off, then sure you're good. But for the most part, you're not going to find out until it's too late. Because by the time they sit there and disappear, they're back on the ground and gone.
Here's something interesting. Death by Nachos is having a secret meeting in the bank area with Samsung.
Yeah, he's asking me for materials. I'm not on the right account for that. So
Oh, well, tell him go start chopping wood and shut it.
I tell him I'd look, but I'm not on the right account for it.
Yeah.
So I'll look in a little bit.
Tell him you're busy. You'll get back to him. Tell him put a pin in it. We'll circle back.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So where were we? I sorry, I got sidetracked there.
Well, I was bitching about the Guinea again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I just figure, the Guinea's got more of everything than any other character. There's more movements, more graphics, more spinning around in the saddles of the horses and all that. I feel like whoever built the Guinea will be
Biased.
Completely against this. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Biased to all hell and back, because that Guinea is way OP. I'm just saying.
Wow.
And I appreciate it as long as I'm the one driving the Guinea. Okay, but
he's a great little crafter and a great little gatherer, and he's a good combatant. You should not be all three at once.
oh, he's everything. He's better than any assassin you can build. He's better than half of the combatants you can build. He's better than he just does everything, no matter what. The Guinea does that. Oh yeah, blind. Oh yeah, poison. Disease. I got 12 of those. Bleed too.
Poison,
I got
blind,
all of them.
disease.
Does them all, just in one swoop half the time. No, probably 2 buttons, and you've dotted somebody to complete oblivion. If you take the plague path, you can do anything you want, and have like over 10,000 hit points, and have super high dexterity. And if you really want to get down, you can even, bump that intelligence up, and you can even craft that sun gun too. Really good stuff. So yeah, that's all around the best character in the game. Absolutely, no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that character was designed to just do everything. If you want a one-stop shop, get yourself a Guinea. All right, so are we ready to move on, or what are we doing?
I mean, that's all I got for now that I can think of right now. Between what I got written down and stuff that came up in the last second, that's all I got. I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting, but I can't think of it.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the executive producer update for March of 2022 by Gordon Walton. Tyrant is his in-game name. IGN, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to read through it, and then as we have commentary, we'll go ahead and throw it in, right?
Alrighty.
All right. Howdy, crows. Not sure why he started with that.
Here, while you read that, I'll be right back, actually.
Okay. It's been way too long since I've last written to the community. Between the hecticness of integrating with our new parent company, Monumental, and my catching of COVID, sorry to hear that, by the way, I missed last month's communication, and he's sorry. Now, I did notice when he was gone for a while, I kept making comments in the Discord, like literally in Discord, Tyrant is always online, no matter what. I don't care what time of day or night, he's always there, and he's usually green. You know what I mean? Like he's available. Well, not available, but he's online, and it's like now whether he's botting it or whatever he's doing or taking readings or whatever, that doesn't matter. But he's always available, always online. So, and I noticed he was gone for a few days, and I kept saying, what's up with the, Tyrant? And my response that I got back was an ice storm in Austin. And I said, yeah, you know what? An ice storm, he would just walk through that. So that's not what got him. But anyway, we're glad he's doing better. I'll let Xtreme know when he gets back, but he's doing better. So that's good. We're glad you're doing better, Tyrant. Don't you be getting sick on us, man. We need you. So he starts with, what have we been doing? We've been focused on quality of life issues and improving core systems of Crowfall while pushing more smaller scale PvP options for players in the last 2 months. Some of these changes are added the ability for players to buy back items that were sold to NPC vendors for gold. Yes, that's a great one. I don't even think Xtreme can argue with that one. I know Dino can't, because one time he sold 27 Explorer discs and about had a heart attack. So, the next on the list is public, noble, vassal, faction, and guild chests now have a chest log that shows which players withdrew and deposited items from a chest. This is also very good. That is a great change.
What change are we talking about?
We're talking about the fact that the public, noble, vassal, faction, and guild chests now have a chest log which shows which players withdrew and deposited items from a chest, which is
Wait, you mean I can no longer sit there and ransack your shit?
That's correct. Well, you can, but I can like actually literally point the finger at you and say you did a thing, and you can't say, oh no, that wasn't me. Yeah, because I'll be like, yeah, you're full of it. I also was going over and I wished him well. Apparently, last month Gordon had caught COVID, so that's why he was gone for a while. But he's doing better now. I'm glad he's better. So I thought I'd
that is good,
tell you that one if you didn't know that one.
Yeah, well, having had it myself, I can tell you this: it may not be contagious anymore, but those symptoms last for like another 3 months after the fact.
Well, and to be fair, Tyrant's not a young man. Okay, he's probably more around Kinger's age-ish, maybe higher.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so that's pretty dangerous for him. And I just, I really wish him the best and hope he's okay.
Yeah.
As much as I love to hate him, I don't hate him in that way. So, group loot settings. Now, let's just touch on the group. Why can't I say it right? Fruit Loop settings. The Fruit Loop settings. Let's just call them the Fruit Loops. So the Fruit Loop settings, you cannot. They do not. I don't know what it is, but you have to reset them constantly, and it's annoying as all get out. So I don't know if that's just a thing that they need to work on, but basically I like my settings one way and one way only, and I teach everybody else to do that one way and one way only, but always something happens and the Fruit Loop settings gets messed up. And I don't know why I can't say group loot. I'm sorry. But
I'm not judging you.
It just keeps coming out Fruit Loop. So
Fruit Loops are good.
Fruit Loops are good stuff. Especially of a certain age, guys like me. The Fruit Loops you just love those little bad boys. Not supposed to eat them, but hey. So yeah, I don't know what it is with the loot settings. We need to massage that a little bit more, I think. I'm glad they're there. They're a beautiful addition, but they need to work right more often than not. And right now, it's like we feel like we're constantly, if we go out as a group to Dead Man's Mire or these other places, a lot of times there's always like the one guy that it keeps asking him for to roll or whatever, and maybe that's a setting on their end that they need to work on, but it's not clear enough. You know what I mean? We just need a little bit more clarity there, and everybody's loot settings should be set, and that's the way they are. And if it's going to be different, then the leader should be able to set it for everyone or whatever.
I think
Yeah,
the leader
whatever.
can set it for anyone, except for instead of doing always roll, just set it to round robin and be done with it.
No, there are some things that you can do round robin, but yeah, okay. You mean, yeah, instead of the last three, the rare and epic and
No,
the
just
legendaries, yeah, just
split
do
the
a
gold.
round robin. I don't know why they don't round robin that either.
Well, you
Everything should
can.
just be round robin.
Say split the gold, round robin, and you can do that. There's an option to round robin everything and then split the gold. But for whatever reason, no one
No,
wants to do
that
that.
wasn't on there before though, because I don't ever remember seeing.
Well, it is now. Last I looked.
Okay, well, I don't know, but in any event, you're right. It should have that. If it doesn't, if it does, then yes, people need to start using the round robin.
You hear that, Nachos?
Um,
Him and I got into a disagreement over that.
yeah, I
He was,
don't.
he was convinced to have it set to always roll per your instruction.
Well, it was my instruction when that was the only option. But if round robin is an option, then it should be round robin. The only reason I said always roll is because I didn't want it asking people every single time to hit a Y or an N. Right?
I know.
When you're
I
in
know
the
what your
middle of
reasoning was.
combat, you don't want to be bothered 27 times with, excuse me, would you like to roll on this? Would you like to roll on that? Do you want this? Do you want that? No, just round robin it.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying. I just want to make sure that we both agree that I was right, Nachos was wrong.
Well, I'm just going to agree that if it exists, it should be used. I'm not going to agree with who's right or wrong because I don't really care. All right,
Okay.
so
Speaking of combat, by the way, the ability to not set group group.
oh,
God damn it,
while
look at
they're
me
in
doing it.
see
Fucking
Fruit Loop settings, right?
Yes, while someone's in combat, you can't set them. The hell with that shit. Set them anyways.
Yeah, I don't understand that whole in combat thing. I don't know. I mean, maybe they think it's exploitable because somebody will do it in the middle of a combat to steal all the loot. I don't know. But in any event, yeah, that's annoying as hell, especially when you're in a group of 5 or 6 and like your friends will not stop attacking everything in sight.
But
It's completely annoying.
Yeah, and then they say, "Oh, I wasn't attacking them. They just aggroed to
Oh
me
yeah.
from
Oh, it
50
was an
meters
accident.
away."
I accidentally aggroed that guy that was 700 meters away. Oh my God. Yeah,
Yes,
I get it.
Yeah, and you know who you are.
Yeah, we all know. So the next thing on the list says the Mine Overseer's Tower. The Mine Overseer's Tower is a capturable parcel that enables to grab you the Overseer's Keys buff from the top of the tower. With this buff, players will be able to go to the mines and loot chests present. Without the buff, these chests can't be accessed and the player will be directed to find the Overseer. Okay, so
That's been in there for a while, though, hasn't it? Like 7.4.
Okay, I was going to say, Gordon, you talked about this in December, just FYI.
I
So,
was like, that's an old one.
yeah, that's an old. Yes, we were informed of this in December. Okay, so please read your previous patch notes before when you do the next one. Thank you. All right, so moving on. Yes, we like the Overseer thing. It's fine. Now, did you know? Here's a little secret for you.
Okay.
If you watch the tab with the events,
Yeah.
it actually tells you when the chests appear.
Yes, I do know that.
Okay. Just anybody else didn't know that? I literally just found out about this morning. So I was like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, it'll tell you when.
Wait a minute.
It'll tell you when the pigs appear. Tell you when the loot chests appear. It tells you when the ore chests appear.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And it tells you when you killed a guard or when you sneezed on one or got even near it. That too.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So the modified campaign zone rules says the wildland zones can have up to 12 concurrent players per alliance. We don't even have that many, so that'll never be a problem. Adventure zones can have up to 25 concurrent players per alliance. Okay. Siege zones can have up to 50 concurrent players per alliance. That's amazing.
And I think that's been in there for a while because I remember going through some really old forum posts. People were complaining that the larger guilds would take advantage of this and literally block other people out of zones
Yeah.
via player
Well,
count.
I think that was a different gig, but I think this is their new adjustment. But anyway, yeah, he didn't talk about this in December that I remember, so
Okay.
he's off the hook on this one. We'll let
Okay.
him have this one. All
All right.
right. So the Shadow campaign, this is important to us. Modify the Shadow campaign description to reflect that the gold drop rate is 100% on death. Plus,
Wait, what?
what?
Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Modify the Shadow campaign description, just the description, to reflect that the gold drop rate is 100% on death. I think it was still saying 50%, like from
Oh, no,
Sky
it was
Point
supposed to
or
be. Well, even Skypoint's 100% gold drop rate. I think it was supposed to
oh,
say
maybe it was.
100% gold drop and then 50% inventory of everything else.
Oh, okay. And in
I
any
think
event,
that's what it's supposed
maybe
to.
it just said 50 and 50. I don't know. I didn't. Nobody reads that stuff, guys. Um. All right.
I'm reading it
Plus
right now.
plus hundreds of bug and polish fixes, of course. Yes, and that's true, and they have, and we are very, very. I mean, did you guys know Xtreme actually got VIP? That is monumental in and of itself. See what I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Okay, good.
My head hurts now.
Good, good. That's exactly where it needs to be. Okay, now this is an interesting one too that I feel like they're baiting me. It probably has nothing to do with me, but I'm just saying. So we've started hiring new folks and are looking for more. See hiring below. We have also lost a couple of folks who spent years working on Crowfall as they want new challenges and we wish them well. Now I want more details on this. I want to know who left, right? I want to know
Yeah.
who left, who's still there, who's gone. I really want to get in. I want to dig in and get all that info. That's info that I would share with you guys, and you would reluctantly tell me you don't care, but I would still do it anyway. That's the kind of information I like to get. So now we're getting to the what's coming next. Next up for Crowfall are shorter, more intense Dregs campaigns for guilds. Now that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
After our next publish, we'll have a 2-week Dregs campaign coming with an with an accelerated resource gathering, crafting, and then on top of that, 12 simultaneous person guild limits and Terminator rules. Whoa. I.e., you come in naked, you leave naked. All right. Each new publish will have Each new publish will have a new Dregs campaign with notable rules changes this year. So they're really going to try to unleash the power of the engine that they have. We'll have an article on the next few Dregs campaigns planned coming soon. We are finally going to start turning all the knobs we built to make each campaign different from the previous, which is nice. I like that. Shadow campaigns will continue to run for a 5-week duration between publishing new versions for the faction versus faction conflict. We will also post some articles about the other things coming for our next publish over the next 2 weeks, so watch for that. So that's a lot to unpack there. Drake's campaign with the accelerated resource gathering crafting. So the crafting simulator with PvP enabled is going to get more crafting.
So when they mean accelerated, does that mean less materials needed, or
It's good. It's a good question.
because you got
Xtreme.
accelerated gathering as well? So I'm just going to assume that means get better drop rates.
I don't know.
So
Interesting. Well, they're going to come out with a document in about 1 to 2 weeks, so look for that.
Okay. Alrighty.
I don't know, but now that coming in naked and going out naked, I've seen that before, where you can't bring anything in with you, which I think is, you were saying this earlier, right? That it's more fair for smaller guilds that way because then they're not importing all their good gear.
I would say if they're not doing this every single time, because if they are going to do the Terminator rules things every single time, that's just going to piss everybody off because there's no point to crafting your gear. anymore. Um,
Right, you won't be able to.
but
Yeah, you won't be able. Well, you would have to craft it in house, but you have to start from. You know, you're gonna have to get the wood. You're gonna have to get the things, and then I don't even
yeah,
know how you would get. How would you? I don't know. I'm. Yeah, I don't even know how you would get your stuff, like your exploration discs and everything in. I don't know if that counts. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
yeah,
this is a tricky sitch. I'm not sure how that's going to. I guess we'll just have to wait for the doc. We'll do a video when the document comes out and we'll
yeah.
try to disseminate what all this means
I mean,
and see
if
if it's even interesting to us cuz right now we're pretty happy where we're at.
yeah, if you don't bring it, if nothing in, Tainted Hills is going to be an absolute war zone 24/7.
And that's not a bad thing in their eyes.
No, no, that's not a bad thing at all, in my opinion, especially for Dregs, because that's what it's all about,
Yeah.
according apparently. Um, my thing is, if you go in naked,
It's a PvP game, don't forget.
in the literal sense, that tells me you're going with zero weapons and zero armor,
That's interesting.
and you can't port your gold in. So where do you get your start? So do they just give you like the basic starting gear like they do new players, and you start with that and go off into the world and farm your
Probably
gear?
that's probably why those stupid things still appear in our packs all the time.
Yeah, I was like that, or you literally start with nothing and you have to sit there and be sneaky sneak and go loot chests in the war tribe areas.
Well, yeah, you only have to be mildly sneaky because everybody else is naked too. So,
Yeah, I know, but that would be interesting actually.
yeah,
You
it's
literally go
actually an
like
interesting concept. Yeah.
I like that. Because
Hmm.
I mean, let's face it, you can get some good stuff out of the war tribe chest, and it wouldn't take you, in theory, that long to gear up doing that.
Right. Yeah, and this would not be for newbies, not at all,
Yeah,
because they're gonna lose their little minds when they see that shit. Now I've seen it before because I was in a lot of the beta testing and all that, and they did have those campaigns where you go in naked and you leave naked, so you don't take anything home with you. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't like the whole coming back home naked and then you have to go get dressed again. I really hate that. But I guess in
again, if they're
certain circumstances it might be acceptable. I
you know,
don't
say
like it.
if they're doing again naked in the literal meaning, then you wouldn't come back with anything to find in dregs either.
Well, they didn't say anything about exporting. Now exporting is a little
You
bit
come
different than
in,
coming back naked.
it says you come in naked and you leave naked. So if they're taking
Well, you
naked in the
already
literal
leave
sense,
naked. Yeah, you already leave naked, even out of
I'm
the
just
shadow.
I'm assuming in the literal sense where you don't even keep your gear that you find in there. It's
Yeah,
just
I
like
just
straight up. Because if it's only 2 weeks, then I just look at it as just a PvP slugfest for 2 weeks.
yeah, I don't
There's no
I don't
point in
know.
taking
I don't think that they're
outposts.
going to
No,
get away with that. I don't think that the players are going to. You got to be able to take your spoils home. I mean,
yeah,
otherwise, what's the
uh,
point? You know, if you just,
uh,
I mean,
just a
then
2 week for a just for fun 2 weeks blitz campaign
I
where
mean,
the
they could do
forts,
that
keeps,
separately
and
from
outposts
dregs.
mean nothing.
Yeah, I think they should just do that separately from dregs. But I mean, you can use dregs rules,
Yeah,
but in quotations. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll wait till the document comes out, and then we'll have
yeah.
to rehash that out.
I'm not saying that's what they should do. I'm just
Yeah, we're just trying to figure
yeah,
out what they mean by it. Yeah.
yeah.
Just based off of what was said here, we don't have a lot of insight, so to speak. All right, moving on. Okay, we are continuing to work on the long-term roadmap, which we hope to have more to share with you soon, though that may be a few weeks yet. Yes. Includes many things our players have requested, and we're making sure everything is finalized first, including approval by Monumental Exec leadership. So basically, they need me to call Monty and give him the okay. That's what I think
Yeah.
they're saying there. Monty, anything Gordon says is cool. All right? Just he knows that. Actually, I know Monty has a lot of respect for Gordon. He's called him things like he's a machine. He is a machine. I play a lot, and he is on all the time, man. The guy is like, I don't know. I mean, he's like Dino on crack, if you can imagine. So that guy is really into this stuff. He really cares about the game, which is really weird because it still just blows me away that back in the early 2000s, they basically kicked all of us PKs out of the game out of UO because we were causing too much havoc, and now he made a whole world just for us. And it seems sus, right? Like I'm always like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? When are the Guineas just gonna take over? I'm so like paranoid of Guineas, because those are not, in my mind, Guineas are not really combatant characters. They're too cute. You know what I mean? If the Guineas had fangs and long nails and they were dripping with goo like a myrmidon, I would be more like, oh yeah, these things are cool. But no, not a freaking bunny rabbit that can murder everything. It's just, I don't know. It's not my thing. You like the Guineas though, I know that.
I hate those things.
Okay, so they have several positions posted at https //monumental.catsone.com/careers and expect to have more up soon. Now, this is the part where I feel like Gordon's baiting me. He says, if you don't see a job that fits, please send your resume to jobs@crowfall.com anyway, right? So it's like, well, okay, because actually there's a lot of jobs they're hiring for that I could do most of it, like probably 95%. There's maybe 5% I'd have to learn. But it's just like, I'm of the mind where I'm just afraid that if I do that, for one, they're going to silence me, right? And then for two, I won't be able to play with you guys in the same capacity that I play now, which could, literally that could disseminate the guild, or I'd have to give my guild away to someone, and God knows I don't want to give that shit to Nachos, but because you guys, then you would have to have the dictator leader thing, and it would be horrible. So, yeah. So I don't know. I think you and I should throw in a resume and just get it over with.
There's only a few things. I think there's only one thing I'd actually qualify for, and that would be the, what was it? Customer service.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, the thing is, I wouldn't last. I don't have the patience.
Yeah, I know.
I do not have the patience to deal with adults.
All the questions are going to be is, how do I change my hair color? All right, so but see, the thing is, Xtreme. They're saying if you don't see a job that fits, just send in a resume. Anyway, that to me means that they might even create a job for you.
You know how outdated my resume is?
Dude, there's templates all over the internet. I made one in 15 minutes. It says
stuff I'm not even qualified for anymore. My last resume was used for an IT job. I don't remember 90%
all you got to put on there
that.
Is I know how to play the video games, and then just send that in, and that's all you got to say. They're not looking for like super detailed shit, dude. They're just like, they just want to know. They want to know things like, can you program? Okay, you can't program. Can you talk nice to people? They want to know things, just little things. They don't want to know like every single skill you've ever possessed in your life. I would have to write a literal book for that. But just to say, hey, like, I've worked on all these things. I've done this. I've played all these games. I'm very into this game. I have a passion for it. That alone, the passion for the game, is probably carries a lot of weight because they want this game to succeed, right? So to get passionate people, this is what they did before. They did this before a long time ago with Ultima Online. They actually hired everybody that used to come on my show back in late 1990s and the early 2000s got hired by EA to work on Ultima Online. So just saying, it's happened in the past. It could happen again. So any of you out there watching, all 5 of you, if you want a job, you should put in a resume. Besides, it'll give him something to do.
So you really want me working on Crowfall?
I want you to be happy and prosperous in life, man. I don't care what that involves. All right, your ideas are not insane. I like your ideas because they come from a younger guy's perspective. I'm an old dude. Like all this stuff that's in this game, all this punishment and shit, I'm totally used to it. I don't like it anymore, but I'm totally like, yeah, whatever. Punish me some more. Go ahead. But you got the younger perspective. I like that. So in any event, yeah, it's up to you what you want to do. I'm just making conversation here, and we're almost to the end of our commentary. So, in summary, we appreciate those of you who play Crowfall, that's you and me, and others, and give us feedback on the new publishes tremendously. I love that he uses a lot of words that a former politician used a lot. He does that a lot. It would be easier on the team to close the game for several months and then relaunch it later. But we take our commitment to provide the game to you seriously and absolutely want your feedback as we make additions and changes to the game. Now, this is the stinger. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Well over 110,000 people have ongoing access. That means like backers and stuff that still have VIPs and things.
Yeah.
To Crowfall, and anyone can do a 10-day free trial. So if you want to be a part of the evolution, that should have been in caps, of Crowfall, we greatly appreciate your participation. So Xtreme, you and I are part of the evolution of Crowfall.
Yeah, here comes one of my controversial ideas again.
God dang. Okay, go ahead.
Shutting the game down for several months to work on it is not necessarily a bad idea. The game didn't exactly have a lot of fanfare for launch. Very few people even know it exists, and it's not I won't say it's in a horrible state, but it's not in a great one either. If they went the same route that Final Fantasy Online went, where they shut the game down, sat there and just fixed it and relaunched it and actually gave it a proper launch, I would not be opposed to that.
I would never. I would just turn everybody's VIP temporarily off, and then say, "Okay, we're out of here." I mean, it would be kind of awkward because a lot of people, if you do that, they might not come back at all. Where there's still maybe there's still enough people playing that it's it's worth their time to keep it open. I don't know how many are actually playing. I mean, I know how many we see, but as we know from the last event, there was a lot of people playing. We just didn't see them because they were out there collecting those little flowers everywhere, right? Yeah, and there was all kinds of flags getting flipped all the time and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
But
if they sat there and took the game down for a couple months to sit there and get their house in order and fix everything up and get it back to an enjoyable, playable state, I would not be not be upset either. And also give them, as I said, give them a chance to launch the game properly. Because the general consensus I got on the original launch was a lot of people didn't know it was launching.
Yeah,
a lot of people did not know.
I know, but I mean, I don't know that Crowfall could have done anything to inform them. I mean,
you could have done out ads, commercials, anything.
Yeah, but they didn't have any money at that point, so they probably didn't. I mean, maybe they'll do that going forward, but
yes, but my point
pretty sure they were broke already.
Well, this would be an opportunity for them to sit there and take advantage of the fact of that.
Yeah, I
know they say they have 110,000. I'm not sure I believe that number in its entirety.
Well, let me ask you this: how many ads have you ever seen for EVE Online?
EVE Online doesn't need to do ads right now.
Right, but they never did ads. I'm just asking. I'm just saying that I think that the people that want to know. The ones that don't pay attention to anything are never going to know. I don't care if you go to their house and knock on their door and say, "Hey, did you know Crowfall's coming out?" And they'll go, "What was that? Really?" And then they'll still be like, I didn't even know. Even after you tell them. I don't know. I like the idea of advertising, but I don't know that.
I did too. EVE Online
when these niche games. I don't remember any of it.
Well, it was the last time you went looking for it. I mean, how long ago did it launch? It launched back in...
I mean, I remember some ads in after the other company picked them up. The when they sold from CCCP to whoever made Black Desert back then. Remember who?
Pearl Abyss.
Pearl Abyss, or the other one. I can't remember. Cacao. It was either Cacao or Pearl Abyss. One of the two.
I don't remember which one. I think actually it was Cacao.
I think it was I think it was the overseas one, not the.
Who knows?
Anyway,
well,
so I think they need to do that. Sure, I just don't know that. I think this game is very niche, and unless they're gonna open it up to a wider audience. I mean, I think they want to open it up a little bit, but I don't think they want to, like, you know, if they just turn the PvP off, this game would probably be super popular. But I know they don't want to do that. Yeah, but it would be super popular because people would just be able to, you know, talk shit to each other in the chat, and that's really where everybody likes to fight anyway. So, it's like,
no,
especially those guys last night. They wanted to have, word wars with me. That was dumb.
Yeah,
Anyway, so yeah.
I mean, as I said before, I'm not sure I 100% believe the numbers they gave us as far as people with ongoing access. And as you said, ongoing access could just be people who have VIP and forgot to turn the auto renew off.
Well, they may still have VIP and not have it on as well. They could just count all VIPs as that many people. And if you look through the game in the credits and look at all the backers, there is a shit ton of them. So I don't have any doubt that there's a lot of people that have access to Crowfall, but that is not in any indication at all as to how many are actually currently playing it.
And that's
on a persistent basis. And that's what a lot of people care about.
Yeah, I care about the active population that's playing, and that seems really tiny.
It does, because we already know everybody. So yeah.
Like I said,
but there's a lot of people play that we don't know. I mean,
if you guys want to sit there and go the way of Final Fantasy and shut the game down for like a month or two or however long you need to get this thing up and running, and then come back with a lot more fanfare and actually get a population in this game, I'm not opposed to that. I could do something else in the meantime.
I'm not either. Yeah, we could all go play Lost Ark like everybody else. I know. Nacho showed me that. I'm like, man, it's Diablo 2. You know.
Well, I have different issues with it, and the fact that Amazon flat out admitted that it's pay to win just does not.
Yeah, that's fine. And most of our guys don't really even care about that as much. You know, the whole pay to win thing. They're pretty much all filthy coiners anyway. Trust me, if Highlander had a way to spend a couple bucks and beat the crap out of everybody in game, he would do it. He would do it in a heartbeat, right? He would be on that like a duck. He'd have like 14 accounts, just killing everything. He'd make Dino look like, Mr. Rogers. That's all I'm saying. But I don't care about that. But they do have hot outfits, which is one thing that we as a collective pretty much get into. Most of the guild members like that. So
yeah, I may go give that game a try. Actually, it's free to play on Steam.
There you go.
Yeah, so I may give it. So no. If you guys shut the game down just to work on it and bring it back later, I know exactly what I'll do in the meantime, and I will come back.
Well, I'll come back too. Yeah, I've spent a lot of money on this game. I'll be back.
Yeah, your loyal players will come back, especially if you sit there and you hype it up. Just don't overhype it. Don't be an Amazon or an EA and overhype it like a dipshit.
Shh. He used to work for EA.
I don't care who he
was the vice president of EA.
Okay.
And he was on my show as the vice president of EA. Can you believe it?
Well, I'm sure EA was a great company then.
No, it was terrible. It was the evil incarnate. And it still is.
Well, then fine. I'm not apologizing. I say what
that's
I mean.
That's why I post pictures of him looking like a devil. Because he was the devil.
Okay. Well.
And he's still deep down inside. I know the devil's still in there. But he has softened up a little bit.
That's good.
Anyway, so he appreciates our patronage, and he says, thanks for supporting Crowfall, and we hope to see you in game. Speaking of seeing Gordon in game, he came on one day and he actually had some deaths, and that was it. He just had like 3 or 4 deaths. So I put up on the Discord, I said, hey, Tyrant, next time you're in game giving out free deaths, can you do a server message so some of us other guys can get in on that action? So we could come kill him too. But he didn't respond to that. But he might have been out. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was funny. In any event, so that's pretty much where we're at. Did you have any other things you needed to throw in there?
No.
About anything? I see we didn't get any takers from the peanut gallery, so they're not interested.
I guess not.
Well, they're playing. So.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they're in the game, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's confirmed. 3 people.
And on that note, I guess I'm going to wrap it up, my friend. And as always, I appreciate my co-host Derek Xtreme
Thanks for
coming
having
on.
me.
Like I said, if they don't do anything next week, we won't have. We're going to try to squeeze in a break at some point. We're going to at least take 1 weekend to ourselves because we need to really crush, some people in the game. So, but we will be, and the campaign ends in what, a little over 2 weeks now. So for sure, we'll most likely be back at the end of the campaign because that's when they're going to release all the information about everything. And then, we'll have to do a synopsis of how bad we killed everybody and all that. So that'll be a thing. If you're not currently following or subscribed or whatever the heck it is, hit that button down there so you know when the shows are. You're welcome, as always, to make any comments you want, either on the video or in the chat when we're live. And we're here pretty much every week. We've been every week for a while now, so maybe we'll just keep her going, And we will continue to support Crowfall. And we thank you for supporting Battle Vortex. All right. I'm gonna close the show. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Take care, guys.